Okay, today I'm going to show you how to create a maintenance plan using a SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, start your SQL Server Management Studio. You should have a thing, database is on and this thing. And once you have go to inside the management, under the management you go to the maintenance plan. Okay, and right click new maintenance plans is there. Then you have to design it yourself in the by yourself. And management plan wizard is actually takes you step by step to design a management plan for you. Okay, we are going to this time deal with the management plan wizard. Okay, click the management plan wizard. There we are. Click the next. Okay, it asks for the name. Okay, and the description. Okay, I will provide a name and a description to it. There it is. I have given a description and I have given a name also. Actually given, this is not an appropriate name, but again I have given a name. Okay, now there's two radio button that's available. That's one says separate schedule for the each task, and then there is another one that says single schedule for the entire plan or no schedule. Now the problem is that if you are using this one, a single schedule for the entire plan, what will happen is that it will run it by one, the whole thing. It what can happen is that if one fails, everything fails. Okay, now this is not the option to be used usually. Okay, but then there is another option that says schedule separate schedule for each task. What this does is actually it will create a job and it will put the one task in each job. Okay, this is what exactly this is going to do. Okay, now this is what is known as schedule. Okay, this is actually when you want to run this task. Actually, when you want to run this maintenance plan, this is what it is exactly. This is the name. This is the schedule. If it is recurring or what it is, it occurs weekly, and then you can change it to the monthly. Okay, daily, monthly. Okay, as it is this and recurs every 1 week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. All these things occurring at a time occurs every this thing, or all these things have to set. Okay, now right now I'm going to cancel it and move back to the screen. Okay, now we are going to use a separate schedule for each task. Okay, as you can see, when I actually select the separate schedule for each task, this is disabled because this is only available for the single schedule for the entire plan. Okay, this is no schedule at all. Okay, now let's move to the next. Okay, there we are. Actually, you can see there are a lot of management tasks available. You have to know where what exactly you are doing. Until unless you don't know, and you should know also the logical flow. So take for instance, if you want to take a backup, and if you try to take a transaction log backup first, and then you want to take a backup full backup, then the plan is going to fail. So remember that thing. It has to be executed in the correct order. Now this check database integrity, what does it does, it uses is very similar to the actually it is using the dbcc check consistency, okay, command. Okay, it repairs your database. Shrink database should not be used because it creates a problem if you are using it. Okay, you should never use the shrink database. Reorganize the index. The reorganize the index is a little bit different from the rebuilding the index. It actually, whenever your index is actually fragmented around up to 30%, you can always use the reorganized index. It takes lesser time and it will allow more people to be, it will not lock up the database or the table for the users. If you use a rebuilt index, it always will actually lock up the data for the users. Okay, remember that thing. Now then there's a rebuild index. Okay, when you're using a rebuild index, you don't need to update the statistics. You don't need to reorganize index because rebuild index will always actually, you are just repeating the same. If you are using the update actually index after a rebuild index, then you're just actually creating your own this thing. You are just actually duplicating the job. When you are using a rebuild index, the statistics already is automatically updated. Now let's go to the cleanup history. The history actually, cleanup history will actually uses MSDB database. Actually, it cleans up the backup history. Okay, then there is a SQL server execute SQL server agent job. Again, whenever you will be selecting this thing, this is the only option that will not allow you, actually ask you to actually select the database. Okay, then there is a backup full, there is a backup differential, and then there is a backup transaction log. Okay, then there are maintenance cleanup task. This is what it exactly does is actually whatever the task, whatever the after the management plans is executed, it will actually clean up this thing, and there is the log files and other things that will be actually. Let's actually go and select something. Okay, let's go check the database integrity, because I am going to put it everything in a different actually task. Okay, so it doesn't matter now. Okay, the only thing is that I should be running it in the order as far as the database is concerned. Okay, I'm not going to select the shrink actually database. I'm going to rebuild the index. Okay, now you are actually, if you're seeing the rebuild the index, okay, you usually use the rebuild index if you want to actually, if the data tables are actually normal, it is not very big in the size, the database is not very big in the size, you should always try to reorganize the index as far as possible. If the indexing has been defragmented up to 30%, if it is more, you should always go for the rebuilding the index, but you should always try to rebuild the index whenever the database are less frequently used. Okay, now update statistics. Okay, because I am going to rebuild the index and reorganize. See, the reorganize and update statistics go together. Rebuild index doesn't need neither the reorganize index neither the update statistics. Okay, now let's go and actually run. Okay, I'll just actually take this thing off and update statistics also off. Okay, to make it very simple for you. Okay, now clean up the history. Clean up history will actually clean up the history for the database. That is actually whenever you create a backup, the MSDB actually database actually has all the database records of your backups. It keeps on increasing, and the other problem is that it will actually create it will make the database grow to the very big extent. Remember that the MSDB database has also to be cleaned. Okay, now there is a problem with the MS cleaning of the database also. Whenever you say cleaning it, because there is a single task, it will only clean the either a backup. There are three files actually. If you say there is a differential backup, there is another, there is a what you call a backup full backup file, and then the dot back, and then there will be a differential backup. But whenever you say clean up the history, the problem is that it will actually, when you are using the SQL Server Management Wizard, it will only clear up only one of the backup. If you select the back, then it will only, you have to create a three different actually maintenance tasks to do it, or to clean up all the all the backup data backups, and it will leave the transaction file. It will always also not delete the text file. So you have to remember that thing. Okay, now execute this thing has to be left over. Now I'm going to check up the backup, and I'm just trying to skip this time the differential just to show you how to. Let's go to the transaction log and maintenance lineup. Okay, now let's go to the select next. Okay, now it allows me. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I've selected correctly. Okay, now this is the order. I can move the order. Now suppose if I wanted to actually check, I could have also check the reorganize the index. So this is not to be checked, this is to be checked. Reorganize the index, and then I can also have checked the update statistics. Now the only thing is that okay, now I can of course reorganize it, because reorganize the index, rebuild the index. Okay, I can move this thing down. Okay, for some of the reason is this button has been disabled. Okay, the thing is that you can move this thing up and down your task, okay, depending upon what you wanted to do. Okay, because this is actually going to be into be a different actually task. Okay, these buttons have been disabled. Okay, now the other thing is that let's move to the next. Okay, here we are. As you can see, the select the database. Okay, it gives you a lot of options. Okay, here it is. Okay, now it says whether you want to use all the databases, or whether you want to use the system data. System databases is actually the master database MSDB. that is used for backup. And then there is a temp db is never backed up in the never allowed in the system plan, because it's always deleted whenever you start a SQL server. Then there is a model database, okay, which actually is a copy from all your database has been derived from. Okay, now then there is a system database, actually I explained to you. Then there is a all user database, excluding the master model MSDB and tempdb. Remember that tempdb is never to be used, okay, because actually it doesn't make any sense only in the first place. Okay, now there is a system database and all user. Okay, now let's actually, okay, now if there's a problem if you actually use this option. Okay, the what happens is the you if the database is not online, then there's going to be a problem that a maintenance plan is going to be failed. So it says ignore the database when the database is not online. This is a new feature in SQL Server 2008. It was not there in SQL Server 2000 actually 5. Okay, for the sake of the simplicity, we will take a few database rather than all the database. Let's take one adventure. Okay, I'll take these two database only. I just take the adventure work. Okay, and maybe let's go to the and select one other one, maybe the Northwind, adventure and Northwind. Okay, you can select all the database, not a problem with that issue at all. Okay, go to the next. It says include the index. Yes, you can change the schedule here if you want. Okay, right now I'm not going to do it. I'm going to show it to you how to do it correctly. Okay, this is going to carry it over to the part 2, so just hold on to the this thing. Okay, cancel next. Okay, next, select the database. Okay, here it is. Select the database to reorganize the index. Again I'm going to actually select the adventure and Northwind only. Actually select any of the this thing. Okay, okay, ignore the database that is not online. Click OK. Okay, and then we are going to move to the next one. Again, I'm not going to schedule it right now from here anything. Define the rebuild index task. Again I'm going to select the same thing. No, this time I'm going to select a different database, because there is no point in actually rebuilding the index for the. Maybe I'm going to select this thing this time actually with the pubs. Okay, the default amount of free space. Okay, and I'm going to again go to the next. Do you see what happens is you can sort on the temp is actually if you use the sort on the temp. Okay, what will happen is it will allow the sorting to be done on a temp database. Keep it online when indexing. This is the option of the actually mostly used in the SQL Server Enterprise Edition. This allows you to actually index on online. Move to the next. Okay, now there is an option for update statistics. You can actually go and select one database. Okay, I have selected the only again one database only this time, and I'm going to click OK. Let's move to the next one. This is how it's asking a cleanup. After 4 weeks the database should be deleted and etc. There's a cleanup plan. This is okay. Right now I will leave it as it is. Next. Now it's asking me which database do you want to back up. Actually you have to select it. Ignore it on offline. Okay, okay, now I will just selected once for the sake of simplicity. You can check many of them. Okay, backup will expire. This is one of the options you should know the backup. And okay, this is the place. Okay, you can change the folder here if you want, and actually I will skip it this time. Next, again to the next one.